10 warning signs of a stroke 1 month before it happens. Can you imagine going to bed one day fine, then waking up the next morning with one side of your body paralyzed? This sounds like the beginning of a scary horror movie, doesn't it? Well, sadly, this is a reality 15 million individuals face every year according to the World Health Organization. Out of these 15 million people, 5 million of them unfortunately don't survive, and another 5 million are forced to forever live with permanent disabilities, and their lives as they know it change completely. This is the dark side of strokes. A stroke is when a part of the brain doesn't receive adequate blood supply, so it no longer receives enough food and oxygen to keep the body working properly. Depending on whether this area is partially damaged or dead, the body is affected. In addition to paralysis of one side of the body, speech can also be slurred, or the person's memory can be affected, or much more. All symptoms of a stroke are heartbreaking, which is why in today's video we will reveal 10 warning signs you need to recognize to detect and hopefully avoid a stroke 1 month before it happens. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. High blood pressure. Do you check your blood pressure daily? If your answer is no, then it's about time you did so. This is because high blood pressure or hypertension is the most common cause for strokes worldwide. Data from 30 recent studies pointed accusing fingers to high blood pressure as being the cause of about 64% of strokes. High blood pressure is when your blood pressure regularly measures over 140/90 millimeters of mercury. If your blood is flowing at a high pressure, this can damage your arteries over time. A damaged artery can't deliver blood properly to your brain, leading to a stroke. Does this apply to you? If so, don't be afraid, because frequent exercise, a healthy diet, and a good night's sleep can go a long way in lowering your blood pressure. But if your blood pressure is persistently high, it is better to check it with your doctor. Number 2. Memory problems. Have you been experiencing memory problems recently? Memory problems due to stroke can manifest as inability to remember old memories or inability to even form new memories, a condition known as anterograde amnesia. There are multiple parts of the brain responsible for the complex process of forming and storing memories. Depending on which part is affected, different types of memory impairment can be found. There are several exercises that can be done to help retrieve the memory if the damage to the brain isn't extensive and the person managed to catch the stroke early. This is why recognizing the warning signs early can have a significant effect on the prognosis. Number 3. Fatigue. We know what you are thinking. You and almost everyone you know have always suffered from fatigue since forever, and you've been just fine. However, just because it is common doesn't mean it is any less important as the other symptoms here on the list, especially if combined with the other symptoms that will be mentioned. So keep watching until the end to know them all. Number 4. Dizziness and imbalance. Have you been feeling dizzy every time you do any kind of sudden movements? Are you chased all day long by a dreadful feeling of lightheadedness that isn't allowing you to finish your work? The brain has specific areas called balance centers to help us keep our balance. As you probably guessed, any damage or blockage to the blood vessels supplying these areas will result in what's called vertigo, which is hallucination of the movement of the surroundings. Number 5. Headaches. Like fatigue, headaches are a common symptom among us. But still, we should give it the attention and care it deserves. When combined with any of the described symptoms in this video, headaches can be a way for your brain to desperately scream for help, especially if these headaches were sudden, severe, and have a common occurrence. Headaches accompanying strokes are nicknamed thunder headaches due to the intense pain that they cause. Number 6. Irregular heartbeats. Have you ever felt as if your heart is overworking but offbeat? This is how someone can describe an irregular heartbeats, medically known as atrial fibrillations, which is a disease affecting 33 million people. This is when your heart is beating fast but irregularly. It may be attributed to many factors such as high blood pressure, obesity, smoking, caffeine, and many more. Your heartbeat is felt when your heart contracts to pump blood to the rest of the body. Now you may be wondering, what's the problem if your heart isn't following its usual beating rhythm? The problem is that these contractions are weaker than those of a regularly beating heart. This won't push your blood into the vessels as fast as it should be. You can imagine that the slow blood in your vessels starts crowding, trips and rolls, forming masses that can block your blood vessels called blood clots. If a blood clot blocks an artery that feeds your brain, it can lead to a stroke. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 7. Weakness or paralysis of one side of the body. If your friends are teasing you that you're weaker than usual, maybe you should take it as a serious sign. Your muscles receive orders from your brain by electrical impulses to move. In other words, one of your brain's numerous functions is muscle coordination and movement. Like a starving man, if your brain isn't getting enough food and oxygen, then it won't be able to do its function of movement properly. Paralysis of one half of the body is called hemiparesis, which is one of the most dreaded symptoms of strokes, as it markedly affects the person's life by resulting in a permanent disability. The impaired side in the body is opposite to the affected side of the brain. So, for example, if the right side of your brain isn't receiving enough blood, then the left side of your body will face coordination problems. Number 8. Vision problems. Have you ever heard of the saying, "The eyes are windows to the brain"? Vision problems can come in a variety of different forms. You may start feeling that your vision field is a bit blurry, or you can experience double vision. Even difficulty moving your eyes can be a sign of high risk of stroke. Severe symptoms can include partial or total blindness. This is because the arteries supplying your eyes also supply your brain. Therefore, affection of the eye can be translated as problems in the blood supply of your brain. Number 9. Diabetes. Everyone knows what diabetes is. It is high glucose levels in your blood. But did you know that that same sugar we eat as a treat after a long day is a leading cause of strokes? Diabetes means no insulin. You can think of insulin as the babysitter of glucose. Without insulin, glucose runs wild in your blood and damages the cells lining your blood vessels. Over time, these vessels' walls become thicker, narrowing them from within. Imagine this. Blood will now be flowing through these narrowed vessels at a much higher pressure. Does this ring any bells of familiarity? Yes, diabetes leads to high blood pressure, which is the most common cause of strokes. So controlling your blood sugar levels is of extreme importance, whether through weight loss and a healthy diet or by the help of your doctor. Number 10. High blood cholesterol and lipids. Are you a fan of starting your day with buttered bread for breakfast and ending it with a juicy steak for dinner? While we must admit that this sounds utterly mouth-watering, yet you still must watch your intake of animal fat, as they can increase your cholesterol and levels of lipids in your blood. But what does that have to do with strokes? Normally, the lining of your blood vessels is smooth to prevent anything from sticking on it. You can think of it as having a slippery surface. However, lipids can damage and stick to the walls of these vessels, forming what is called a plaque. This gradually narrows the inside of the vessels. When this affects blood vessels supplying the brain, it can lead to a stroke. These were the top 10 signs that can warn you of a stroke a month ahead. Since strokes are the second most common cause of death in the whole world and the third most common cause of disability, it is very important that you know how to protect yourself and your loved ones from it. Remember that the earlier you can recognize the stroke, the better the outcome will be. Hopefully, this video has provided you with all the tools you need to do so. Now we want to hear your side of the story. Have you ever or anyone you know suffered from any of the previously mentioned symptoms? How did you or they deal with them? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.